don't take things personally. Not every single thing a person says is meant with bad intention. People are just sometimes trying to make conversation, and words can be interpreted in a off-putting way, in a not intended manner. And that's okay. It's okay that you don't necessarily agree with the thing that the person said, but rather you know that their intention was nothing bad. And realizing the difference between the two things of intention behind their words, statements, conversation is so important. Because when you know the person is deep down not trying to get at you, not trying to say anything rude or belittle you, then it's kind of like a, okay, whatever type of thing. And at the same time, the way that you take it is still valid. The way that you interpret their comment is still valid. Why? Because your feelings, your thoughts, your ideas, your emotions are valid. And you have to be aware of both. It's an and. That, yes, that was not the best way of putting a conversation. And yes, I understand that you're giving me advice, a compliment, an additive to the conversation. And when you can realize that, when you can read between the lines and see that it wasn't personal, that is when you can become more, I guess, sympathetic of the perspective that they have and the impression that they have of you, of the situation, of their environment. And it allows you to have a new perspective. So the whole entire reason why I bring this up is because I was having a conversation with like a family friend, and they were like, yeah, you've just become so articulate. Or they didn't say it like that, but they were like basically saying that you've really just gotten out of your shell, that you've been able to like talk with different people, hang out with different people, and get outside your comfort zone. And I think this past internship really did it for you. And face value, very true. Very, very true. That yes, I have grown a lot from my internship. I have been able to network, and I have been able to step outside my comfort zone with other people and by myself, and learn so many various people skills. And it all started way long before my internship. Literally, probably when I started my YouTube channel, to be fully honest, was when I started trying to speak more. When I tried to put myself out there. When I tried so many different things besides this internship. But rather, this internship was a culmination of what I've been practicing, what I've been trying to develop. And when people see all of a sudden results, it's like, oh, I've really been working on this for a lot longer than you know. And that yes, it was a compliment. And yes, you do not know my story. You do not know who I've become the past years that I've been in college. Because I don't show that aspect to you. That I don't have to. Because when I'm with them, I can just be me. I don't have to be articulate. I don't have to talk in a manner that has to be professional. I don't have to be anybody. I can simply just be my goofy self and not think. I don't have to talk. I don't have to be anything. I can just be absent-minded, basically. I don't have to think at all, really. And I guess this turnabout of it, I did show up a little more articulate. I did come more prepared in a conversation skill. I wasn't super duper relaxed because I was thinking me and my friend were gonna hang out, and I wasn't gonna see like the family friend as well. And it just was like, oh, it kind of like made me taken aback. by that comment. And I'm like, I really have always been this articulate. It's just you don't ever see that side. You just haven't seen that side of me that I can have a conversation with an adult and be interactive and be understanding and be intentful with that one person. And it was just like, I knew that it was a compliment, and I knew that they didn't mean any harm about it, and I knew that it wasn't like a backhanded compliment or an insult or anything like that, but rather just a way of a statement. And it, for some reason, it just took me the wrong way, because that is something that I hold so true and truly near and dear to me, that I've put forth the effort to be able to talk with people, conversate with people, truly listen to what they are saying, and be fully present. And sometimes when I don't have to do that, when I don't have to be so intentional, I won't. And I'll just be whimsical, goofy, like half paying attention and just being like, yeah, okay. And it's kind of like, pick the crowd, pick the posture, and pick the appropriate conversation level. And I think that was a little bit higher tonight because I wanted to be a little more intentional and thoughtful in comparison to past times. But I don't know, it was just different, and it was just like, oh, kind of a little took me the wrong way, but there's nothing bad about the comment. And it's just more of like a reminder that not every single thing a person says is a personal attack on you, is a bad intent. Because kind of even going broader, like when someone gives you criticism, I forget what the proper term is, but it's like criticism. And when people receive that, they take it personally. And it shouldn't be taken that way, because they're not saying to you that, oh, I hate that sweater. Oh, I hate your blank. No, they're not saying that. They're not saying anything about you. They might say the work that you've done isn't what they wanted or what they expected or what they necessarily need in that moment. But it's not like they're saying, I don't need you. They're not saying that, and it's not personal. Or, for example, if someone is like, I think you should try this technique differently. I think you should try something else. It's not a you. It's a technique improvement. Because during the conversation, they were talking about their job and having to order parts and having to be able to supply parts. And there was a new intern, and he was very young. And he was just explaining that he would have to, for example, he needed X, Y, and Z part. He would go up and ask him. And then it was like, oh, I need ABC. And he would go back up and ask. And then after a while, he was like, bro, think about everything that you need, because what if I didn't have a part that you needed 2 days ago and I could give it to you now? And he was like, oh, you're right. They were not personally attacking the intern. They were trying to teach them. And I think being able to understand moments like this, understand different moments, and understand that when you receive criticism or critiques, it's not personal. It's simply just an observation and a way that people want to care for you. Because if somebody genuinely didn't care for you, they would not say a single thing to you. They would just keep letting you do something very, very inefficient. They would allow you to fall between the cracks and get away with it. But those who care for you, those who actually have an investment and want the best for you, will say something. See something, say something. And it is not anything personal, but it's for your personal benefit. Do not get it twisted. Do not take it in the wrong way. Because just because you have a different interpretation does not mean that it's wrong. And it means that you need to be aware of intention. all back to intention at this point. And so, I want to leave you with this. Regardless if you get a compliment, a criticism, an insult, a complaint, a backhanded compliment, don't take it personal. Because I saw this thing that the person said. It's like you're the one who can hurt you the most. And you're the one who can heal you the most. So do not allow yourself to get caught up in the words that people say, good or bad, interpreted differently or interpreted correctly. Do not let it hurt you, because it's not personal. Even if they meant it as personal, even if they meant that insult as personal, don't allow it to simmer within you, because you are far more than anything that anybody could say. You are far more than any criticism, critique, even compliment that you receive. It's kind of like that Instagram post that's like, being called pretty is the least interesting thing about me. Or being called handsome is the least interesting thing about me. And they list all these amazing things. And it's like, true. Because what people think of you is the least important thing about you. The only thing that matters is what you truly value about yourself, what you truly care and want to improve within yourself. So don't take things personally, because they were never meant to be taken personally. Because you were allowed to be more than what somebody says, what somebody gives you, because you are just simply enough. Food for thought.